Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Ritan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely and learn just a little bit about wine. Believe it or not, there is a rosé season. Now I've said this many times, I drink rosé year round, I love it. But truly, sun's coming out now, spring has sprung, and we will see a spike in rosé sales at the store. It's just true. It's just the way it is. Now, I have some friends, the Kelms drink rosé all the time. I have a lot of friends that drink rosé all the time, but really there is a season and we're in it. And as we progress into summer, it'll just start raging. The sales will start raging, which is really cool because I can still remember back not too many years ago when rosé really wasn't a big deal, but it's a big deal now. And people drink it and they love it. And I'll tell you why it's such a great wine to drink. It is very versatile, especially with food. You can have rosé with chicken, with pork, with if it has a little bit of fruit on it, you might even have it with some Asian food. I would say salad, except I don't really drink wine with salad personally, but all kinds of things. Seafood, halibut, all those things can be drunk or eaten with rosé as its complement. So we have 4 rosés here. We're going to go through them. There's only one here that I'm familiar with. Well, 2 I'm familiar with. The other ones I don't know anything about, but we're going to try them all. And I think it would be safe to start with the Upside Down Wine Rosé 2024, Washington State. This is 100% Nebbiolo, which is interesting. In fact, this whole lineup is pretty interesting because they're all made from different grapes, I believe. So this is new for me as well. I have to review these wines anyway. 3 of them are samples that were sent to me, and so we're going to try them together. Color on this is very salmon, which is a color that you would expect from rosé, salmon colored. In fact, I believe, and this is a hard one, and I would like some comments from you guys on this. Does color really matter to you when it comes to rosé? Like, for instance, a lot of people think they need to be pale to be good, and most of these are pale. But some of my favorite rosé is from Tavel, and Tavel rosés are generally fairly dark. Doesn't mean they're sweet, and I think that's what happens. I think people think, well, if they're dark, they're going to be sweet. That's not true necessarily, because Tavel wines are not sweet. So how do you feel about that? Are you do you get away from rosé when it gets a little bit darker in color? Is it because you think it's sweet? I want to know. I want to hear the comments. I want you guys to tell me what you think. So quit hiding in the closet, quit lurking somewhere else, and get out there and comment on your feelings about rosé. I want to hear it. I want to learn. I learn from you as well as you learn from me. Now, rosé is made in a couple of different ways. It could be made in the Saunier method, which means to bleed, which means they press some of the juice, they leave it on the skins for a little bit, they make the rosé, and then they use the rest of the grapes for their production of the other varietal wine. There's also dedicated rosé, where they just use those grapes for rosé, and a lot of wineries are doing that now. Because rosé is so popular, they feel they can afford to bottle just rosé from the grapes. So, and I don't know if I've ever experienced this, but I guess they can add red wine to white wine to make a rosé. That seems like kind of cheesy to me, but I think it does happen sometimes. So, color on the Upside Down Rosé, $23. Upside Down Wines. So I'm very excited to try this. Let's see what we get on the nose. We're going to kind of quit lining them up so orderly. We're going to put that right back there. I'm getting some watermelon, a little bit of strawberry, a little bit of cherry. So that's subdued on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Nebbiolo now. Nebbiolo, we all know that Nebbiolo is the main grape of Barolo and Barbaresco and Langhe Nebbiolo. So, Nebbiolo is a very popular wine in northern Italy. Had a brain cramp there for a minute. Now, this is a cool wine. I like this wine. kind of an initial attack on the palate. You get a little bit of fruit. You're getting some watermelon, some cherry notes, a little bit of strawberry in there, and then it dries up really seriously on the back of the palate. The finish. Yeah, right on the mid palate, you get that nice cherry, strawberry thing going on. Very nice wine, very balanced rosé. I think a lot of people will like this wine. It's $23. You know, a lot of people like to stay in the under $20 range, but I think this is really seriously, wow, making me drool a little bit. I like this one. Of course, Nebbiolo from Washington State is going to be different. This is, I believe this said Horse Heaven Hills. Did it? No. Yeah, Horse Heaven Hills, Appalachian, which is a big appellation in Washington State. Very nice. A little bit of fruit on the initial attack and on the front and on the mid palate. Then it dries out on the finish. You get a little bit of citrus on the finish as well. Yeah, I'm going to go B plus A minus. I think that's a very, very solid rosé. So where do I go next? Well, I'm going to go to the Cab Franc rosé from Touraine in the Loire Valley. This is the Thierry Delany Le Grand Ballon, which is probably balloon in French. This is a 100% Cabernet Franc, $14. I love Cab Franc, you guys know that. I've done an episode on Cab Franc with my friend Mike. And now we're going to try a Cab Franc rosé for $14. Ooh, this one's really pale. More fruit on that Nebbiolo rosé than I thought there would be, but that's okay. Let's go on to the Cab Franc rosé, $14. Now this baby is pale. And you know, just as a wine buyer and selling wine in the store, I know that pale rosés are really more popular, but I would like to convince people that even if it's dark, it's okay. It's okay. Rob Griffin from Barnard Griffin does a Sangiovese rosé that is always getting medals and awards, and it's darker, and it's dry, and it's delicious. So, let's see what we get on the nose. Well, you don't get a lot on the nose. It's I don't get any veggie, what you'd expect from a Cab Franc rosé. I'm getting a little kind of plum notes, a little light cherry, a little bit of plum. There's some bubblegum on this, a little bit of bubblegum component, but not a lot. This is 2025, so it's fresh, fresh, fresh. La Ballon. Yeah, maybe a touch of rhubarb too. It's kind of earthy, what you'd expect from an old world rosé. Let's see what we get on the palate. Yeah, those plum notes, really big time, and a little bit of rhubarb. Boy, this has some nice edginess, some nice vibrancy on the palate. It's really a lot of energy, very juicy, but not sweet. It's very dry. Slight bubblegum notes come through, but they're very slight. So it's like rhubarb bubblicious little sort of thing, which a lot of times fresh rosés will have a little bit of that. I'm not offended by it as long as it's not overpowering, you know, really takes over. This has just a touch of it with that nice rhubarb, cherry plum thing going on. This is a delicious rosé. Yeah, I love this one. $14, a great price. I'm going to go B plus A minus on this one as well. Both equally good, but this one's a better deal, but this one is really good. Very interesting. Nebbiolo from Washington State. Okay, now let's move on to the... this is a Tempranillo rosé from Illahee. Tempranillo rosé, Willamette Valley, Oregon. Very interesting, 2025. So again, very fresh. $22, double deuce, $22. Tempranillo from, you know, you of course, you know what you're thinking when you hear rosé from Oregon. You're thinking Pinot Noir. Of course you are. But they do some interesting grapes down there. Tempranillo, which is famous in Italy. Very pale. Again, just like the one we just tasted. This is very, very pale in color. Kind of that copper. Yeah, very pale. Almost on the whitish tone from a Tempranillo. So they didn't leave it on the skins long. Now that's what gives, the longer they leave it on the skins, the more color it gets. So orange wine's a classic example. Orange wine, they macerate it on the skins for a long time. That's how they get that color out of the white grape. Well, with red grapes, obviously if you leave it on for a long time, you're going to get darker wines. And in this case, they probably didn't leave it on there very long. They may have used the Saunier method. They're probably using the Tempranillo in a Tempranillo. They might be. I don't know. I didn't ask them. But it could be. Very light. So a couple hours, 3 hours at the most, maybe 4 hours on the skins. And then they press the juice off so that they get away from the skins. So no more color. That's how that happens. Boy, this has an interesting nose. Not, the first thing that came to my mind is like mottled glue, but it's not that strong. This is almost dirty on the nose. Very interesting. Like dirty. Yeah, very interesting. I'm trying to extract something from this, and it's kind of familiar. Definitely strawberry, big time strawberry, maybe just a little bit of cherry, but that's it. It's strawberry with kind of dirty strawberries. With a hit of cherry and a little bit of a kind of a sweet orange thing going on. Let's see what we get on the palate. Tempranillo Rosé from Oregon. Now this is the driest of the bunch, which is interesting. Very dry. You saw the color on that. Yeah, not a lot going on this one. I get a little bit of that strawberry tone with a little hint of like orange citrus underneath. Maybe just a kiss of cherry. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not funky at all. It finishes dry with a little bit of citrus notes on the finish. But it's just, you know, after these other two, it's like, I don't know. I mean, what is it? You know, $22. The other one was 22 as well. No, this is the first one. The first one was 23. That's 22. I would definitely take the Nebbiolo over this one for the money. Just saying. It's tasty. I mean, you know, that's a tasty burger. Now that's a tasty burger. The line from Pulp Fiction, right? It is tasty. I just don't think it has a lot going on. I think it's pretty one-dimensional. It's good. You know, it is good. That strawberry citrus thing going on. But for the money, I think the Upside Down wine showed better. But I'm not going to trash this one. I think it's a B- Rosé. B-. So it doesn't quite go up to the level of the first two, but yeah, I'm going to go B-, maybe C+, B-. Let's go there. Now, let's do a Corsican wine. This is Vitrici Il Debut 2025, so very fresh. Domaine Vitrici, not sure if I'm saying that right. It could be Vitrici. It might be Vitrici. Don't know for sure. Now, it does not tell you the grapes on this one, but I am going to lean towards Sangiovese because they like to use Sangiovese in Corsica, and this could be Sangiovese. They have some other interesting grapes that they use, and I cannot pronounce them very well, so I'm not going to butcher it for you guys. I won't give you that entertainment, but it could be a lot of Sangiovese in this. This rolls in at $14. Vitrici. They do some great wines, so I'm excited to try this new vintage. I don't hold me on that Sangiovese thing. In fact, I'm going to look it up and I'll put it in the subtitles underneath so you know what's really in it. And there, if it has some of the grapes I'm thinking, it might be very hard to pronounce them. So, let's see what we get on those. And it's kind of perfumed. It's a little bit like perfumed soap. I'm going cherry on this one. I'm even getting a slight herbal component, not strong, but very slight. Maybe just a little bit of bazooka, but not a lot. Very, very light. Very light. Might even be a little bit of raspberry in this one. Let's see what we get on the palate. Yeah, definitely cherry raspberry, the kiss of citrus. This is a beauty. This, like the first one, has a little bit of, you get a little bit of fruit hit on the mid palate, and then it goes super dry on the finish. Color on this is, yeah, this is into the salmon colored region. These are all very light. Made for cheeky, $14. I'm digging this one. Good vibrancy, juicy on the palate, like the Cab Franc. I mean, it's got a lot of like really solid acidity, but it's very balanced, so it really pops in the mouth. Nice long finish on this one. You get kind of that blend of cherry, raspberry, citrus thing going on the finish, and it's still hanging on there. I like this one a lot. I'm going to go straight up A- on the Vertrici, I think that's how you say it. Vertrici, Domaine Vertrici, Rosé. I believe in it's a lot of Sangiovese in this, but like I said, I'll put it in the subtitles so you can see what it is. All really good rosés. The Olahi, I just thought for the money, if it was a couple bucks less, I might have bumped up the grade. Just not really. C plus A, B minus, I think is a really solid grade. Then we had the B plus A minus, B plus A minus, and straight up A minus. So really solid rosés. I'm happy with these. I hope to bring some of these into the store for my local people who watch these programs. Come look for them because I know the Vertrici for sure will be there. The Grand Ballon is already there. So some cool rosés. It's rosé season. And again, give me some comments. What do you feel about rosé? The color especially. And does that matter to you? And what is your favorite rosé? So I want to see some comments on this episode. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I appreciate your support. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you can see what's coming up. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.